It began with claw marks in the bar of soap next to the kitchen sink. Then there were scratching sounds in the wall. Next came the squeaking. I tore apart the kitchen, ripping the appliances out from the walls, sweeping and mopping repeatedly. I emptied the cupboards and scrubbed those too. I bought glass jars for the rice, sugar, and flour, and a thick plastic tub for the dog food. The night after the dog food was securely sealed away, I woke up to a terrible gnawing sound. That little bastard gnawed straight through the tub. I bought peppermint spray, supposed to be a humane deterrent, sprayed it generously around the baseboards. I also bought steel wool, another deterrent according to the all-knowing internet, and stuffed it into the holes in the walls and floors of my 150-year-old house. I also stuffed a towel beneath my bedroom door at night, hoping to discourage it from entering, and that seemed to work, briefly. It opted to spend a few nights in my closet instead, devouring my shoelaces and defecating in my shoes. Then I guess I got bored because one morning I woke up and found little oblong turds in the soil of the orchid in my bedroom. There were also chunks eaten out of its petals and claw marks in the bar of soap by the master bathroom sink. So at this point, now that it had entered my bedroom, I was all fired up, and I was determined to end this reign of terror. I didn't care if it was humanely or not. I bought a bunch of poison traps, and I sprinkled bits of granola inside them. This odious little rodent was going to die a painful, horrible, terrible death with its insides twisted out. So I placed all these traps around the house, and I went to sleep with a sadistic smile on my face. In the morning, the traps were gone. They literally disappeared. The son of a bitch picked them up and took them away so his army of mutant mice could rip them open and they could get at the granola safely. But that wasn't even the worst. The worst came one night. I had just drifted off to sleep. I was dreaming of a world in which my lazy, useless little dog was earning his keep by killing this architect of my torment, and I was awakened by a loud, shrill shriek. I turned on the light and saw my then-boyfriend sitting straight up. He said the mouse had crawled across his pillow and touched his hair. I thought he must have imagined it. We sat there in silence, didn't hear anything, didn't see anything, so I managed to convince him that he had just dreamed it, and we turned off the light to go back to sleep. Moments later, it crawled up my nightstand, and its scaly, scratchy, feces-covered feet touched my hand. I was the one to shriek now. The light went back on, we got up, I opened the bedroom door, and we positioned ourselves between the dresser and the bathroom, so we had just seen it run behind the dresser when I turned the light on. Our plan was to scare it into running out of the bedroom instead of deeper into it. So on the count of 3, we screamed and we stomped, and the thing bolted, and that was the first time that we had really seen it, and it was more like the size of a squirrel than a mouse. We did not sleep all night. In the morning, I finally called an exterminator, and he showed up with poison traps. I laughed in his face. Silly, naive man, he had no idea what he was up against. I told him that he had to come back with the poison death spray or he was going to be fired. I was about to go on vacation to Europe, and so I wasn't going to be around to breathe in those cancer fumes, and he could gas that little nightmare straight to hell. After 2.5 weeks enjoying rodent-free living in Italy, I returned. The house was still, no scratching, no gnawing, no squeaking, no lingering scent of poop. So I went to bed and woke up well-rested and happy. The next night, I was not so lucky. As I was about to pass out, that little scritch, scritch, scritch reached my ears. And I started to cry. That was it. This was my life now. Short of setting the house on fire, I didn't see any way to rid myself of this rodent. So I got out my computer and I Googled how to get away with arson. Kidding, this is not where this story is going. What I actually did the next day was the simplest thing imaginable. I went out and bought one of those very plain snap traps, the kind that you see in old cartoons that you put the cheese in, or in my case, a nice big dollop of peanut butter. I put it out, fairly certain that I would wake up in the middle of the night and find the little guy next to me on the pillow, tucking himself in under the comforter with a nice peanut butter snack in his claws. Instead, what I found in the morning was a closed trap, head of a frighteningly large but very dead mouse held firmly in its grasp. I looked down at the beast in triumph. I shouted, "Ha ha!" I pumped my fists and I did a happy dance. I took photos of the corpse and sent them to everyone I knew. I won. I was a hero. A hero who squealed like a little girl and fought my gag reflex as I picked it up by the tail to take it out to the dumpster.